Come up with a timeline, possibly 1 year instead of a 5-year time frame. Add more story to the narrative version. Add a few more rooms to the actual game. Could you give me a guesstimate? And it can make guesstimates, which is practically what they're doing, what it's doing anyways. On the time I should spend on each phase. When considering a 1-year time frame. We'll see what that comes up with. If you're aiming to complete the project within 1 year, 12 months, we can divide the time across 15 phases while accounting for their complexity and dependencies. Here's a rough guesstimate for each phase. Okay. This is what it's estimating. I don't know if I could do that. 11.5 months. These are about 2 weeks of buffer for final adjustments, unforeseen delays, extra polish. Align with your expectations. Okay. Like any adjustments for any specific phase. Well, let's see here. Schedule B. Okay. Total time. So, on Schedule A. As you approach the guards, there, maybe well, I don't know if it's swords or if it's lances. Their swords come down to block John's. Notice how I said you, because this is John here. And actually, there'll be different characters. It won't be you, per se. As John approaches the guards, their swords come down to block John's path. Block his path. Okay, so, okay, let's do something else here. Let's delete that. Okay. I'll read what I'm going to do here. Okay, so if I'm doing a narrative, I guess I'm just doing one choice, aren't I? He uses his skills to gain entrance to the grounds. The grounds consist of barracks, which are in several, which are the barracks, which are in several organized story arcs and key events. Review notes and plot points. Divide the narrative into scenes or rooms. Define major decision points and their consequences, i.e., branching paths, right, and adapt the narrative. Flesh out each scene with detailed descriptions, dialogue, or actions. Keep each scene concise. Ensure decisions are meaningful in line with character motivations or game objective. Test story flow. Map out branches visually. Flowchart decision tree. Implement narrative into the game. Input text decisions in your framework. Ensure the number key inputs match the appropriate scenes and branches. Testing and feedback. Okay, adjusted timeline, time frame 3 to 4 weeks. Focus for week 1. Finalize the narrative and divide into scenes. Okay, input text and decision integrating framework. Test and refine the narrative integration. So rewrite the timeline to account for a full 4 weeks. Let's see if it does that. Let's see if it does. Phase 1 timeline to account for a total of 4 weeks. Phase 1, choose your adventure style game. Okay. Copy that, and I'm going to put that into the phases text here. Let's just do this, and let's do that. Okay, and let's add spaces in here, because for some reason I didn't pick up on the dividers here. Okay, so that's just okay. So that's just a figuring out what's going on. So I don't actually. It's kind of weird because the way I have it written up here. Let's see here. This is my main story outline, right? King starts doing odd things like closing down the training schools, nights academy. It's called night school now. Fairy God College, Wizard U, Princess Prep. They got their closed for refurbishment signs up. Doors have stopped letting anyone come in and watch them work. The king has allowed Enchanted Holdings to buy out Enchanted Enterprises. These are different names. I think the Enchanted Holdings is the idea is it's a holding company, so it buys out things. And then I have a like Enchanted Limited or something, and I'm not sure what I'm going to call that, but basically the king allows the sale of of the lands to this company. And the only hotel open is the Grand Enchanted Lands, except for and it's not receiving guests, but I think the idea is I might have some like puzzles or something. Well, actually, the thing is Karen is actually being held here, um, and that's the other thing here. I'm gonna be sharing everything, including spoilers. And so, if this looks like something that's like an interesting game, and you don't want to know spoilers, then maybe you don't want to watch or listen. But for people that do, it's not gonna matter as much. Uh, because I'm trying to expose my process. I'm trying to, somebody want a behind the scenes thing. They want to watch somebody. Well, how do they come with this? What happens? What happens in the process? And so that's what I'm showing here. The Count finds out about her whereabouts because he can fly as a bat and be relatively undetected. So what? It's like, why does Hubert need John to go into there when he's got this other stuff going for him? John does not need to be in there. And that's kind of the point. What do I do with John once he's in there? Because I could totally remove the character, and the character was integral in my story, but I could completely remove him, and it would not hurt the story hardly at all. So there's a conundrum. I mean, you could say that John needs to be in there to rescue the princess because he commits the actual rescue.